This is TWiT. So Bill Gates has done it at Reddit AMA before. This one, I'm not sure what prompted it, except maybe that he is now going to be spending 1/3 of his time advising Satya Nadella. Do you know Satya Nadella, Gom? Have you talked to him? Have you interviewed him?
I have actually on multiple occasions, and I think he's the right man for the job.
You do?
He's definitely one of a new breed of leaders. He listens, he cares for people, and he actually has very precise and concise ideas about technology, how it impacts Microsoft, and what Microsoft needs to do in the future.
That's awesome.
There is a very likely chance that he's going to surprise us in a good way in next few.
He's taken on what must be one of the toughest jobs, second only to running Yahoo, maybe, in the tech industry.
I mean, Yahoo is not really a job, right? I mean,
what is it, an adventure?
It's an arbitrage on Alibaba stock, so it's not
actually. Really... That's a really interesting way to put it. But the Alibaba, they own how much of the Alibaba?
They own enough that most of their stock valuation is essentially a proxy for Alibaba.
Holy cow!
Stock.
Alibaba, the search engine in China. If it does well, Yahoo does well.
Right, and I think my view on Microsoft is that Microsoft actually has a lot of products. They're doing really well in some categories. They have suffered pretty extensively in the personal computing space, and I'm not sure how they come back from that decline, but they are going to do pretty well in the cloud space. Right?
That's the challenge, isn't it? Because they dominated the 80s and the 90s by creating a software platform that everybody used, 90% of all computers. And then suddenly the rug is pulled out from under them. They say Apple, they see the devices, mobile takes over. The new platform is clearly cloud, but they've been beaten to the space by Amazon, by Google, by a lot of other companies. Do you think cloud is where their future lies, or is it in devices?
Yeah. I think it's the cloud. I think cloud and cloud-based services is where they can actually start to have an impact. You think about it, for a company like Apple, they need, cloud services, and they really severely lack in the cloud-based services.
They cannot do it.
Right, because it's just not part of their DNA. Whereas enterprise and building platforms for the enterprise is part of Microsoft DNA. There is a whole big wide world out there which needs a cloud service, and they're not all gonna go to Amazon. A majority will go to Amazon, but there is a whole bunch of Microsoft-based enterprises out there. They need to find cloud, and Microsoft has a huge opportunity there. They've done a good job of building out a network and infrastructure, and I think deep down they all know that they need to adapt to this new personal computing world where people don't pay for an operating system, people don't pay for applications or productivity applications or browsers and stuff like that. What people pay for is either the hardware or the services. I think with Nokia, they have a shot at hardware. I mean, I still remain very iffy about that. But on the services, the cloud-based services, they actually have a good shot. I think,
they're late to the game. I mean, you've got Google is dominant, Amazon.
In cloud services?
Yeah. And
Amazon is dominant. Google is great with making, pronouncements.
Doesn't everybody use Google Docs?
No, but it's not just Google Docs we're talking about, right? Like we're talking about the actual infrastructure of the cloud, like which is where Microsoft can provide a lot of upside. I think they can't just think in terms of the number of people who want to still use Outlook and Exchange, and
that's
just
sad.
Hosting that on the cloud is a big business. I know it's sad, but there is people who want to do that.